G'day and welcome back to Down the Shed with Byron's $500 Commodore that we probably shouldn't have started. Now I am saying that as a bit of a joke, so if you are new to the channel, yeah, just jump back through the playlist and check out what we got up to. Now in the last video where I was getting upset with water possibly getting in the car, I think 50% of yous were right. It's the residual water that's left in that foam of the carpet. I've had a couple of cracking days here where it's just been sunny and about 25 to 28 degrees lately. Perfect weather to dry it out. Another one of those dramas that I was going through was the lifter tick. Now, I haven't started this up for a few weeks, so let's pop the bonnet and have a look. Oh, bugger. Well, let's let it build up a little bit of oil pressure. Started off a little bit, how you going? Again, I think about 50% of you guys all said, I just need to take it for a young P-plater's tune-up, and it'll probably be a good thing. I'll just let it run for a bit and hopefully that clears up. Otherwise, yeah. Anyway, let's show you the floor. Now this carpet has had a chance to dry out, and I was just squeezing like the last little bits out of that foam yesterday. It's just on the verge of, I don't know how you say it, it's cold, but it's not wet. I'll put that sound deadener back up in here. We'll put that carpet back in. Should be able to vacuum and clean it. With the carpet back down, I thought I'd just pull the cab fan out and just have a gander and see if we had any leaf matter in there. It's actually pretty clean. All right, we'll look up in there. Might just give that a quick blowout slash vacuum, and then I can feel, I presume it's the condenser. Not the condenser, the evaporator there with my fingers. So I might just get the blower and just give that a bit of a, and then we'll put that all back together as well. Now it has been a couple of minutes. The tick has gone away, so it's not bad. Now I have ordered a couple of rocker cover gaskets for it and an electric aerial for it, which we're going to do in the next episode that comes out. I got the eBay's cheapest electric aerial. So let's see how we go with that. And again, this was just a pull out one that's seized in. So anything's better than nothing. Well, I thought we'd get a bit more leaf debris out than that. But pretty good. Fan's cleaned out. We'll bang that back in. Now, if you ever want to do this job, it's a few covers come off and 3 screws that hold the fan assembly in place. And then you just unplug the plug, pull that out, and then that way you can actually get into your evaporator. Now, I've brought I reckon it's a pretty cool tool that I brought from the good old Audi. Now, I didn't try it on this because I don't want to go through the upsetness of wetting the floor again, but I'll show you. I brought this thingamajig. So it looks like it plugs onto the garden hose. You got a ball valve and a adjustable nozzle that goes on the end. Now we'll try that out later. I think it cost me maybe 20 bucks, but I was like, it'll be worth it. I do have a mission on my patrol later to sort out the aircon, so I'll use it on that first and see how it goes. Then we might attack the Commodore after that. So today's going to be a little bit of a short video, so I apologise for that because I've been doing a bit of yard cleanup, burning off a heap of fire piles and just sorting out all my wrecked cars. So my other missions are, besides getting that carpet cleaned, the seat back in for now and some of that lower trim, is I want to evac out the power steering fluid with a little sucker pump I've got. Same with the brake fluid. And while I've got it up on the jack stands and car ramps, I want to change that brake fluid. Now, remember in the last episode how I was talking about the steering boot had split? Well, it was the one that I replaced earlier with a second-hand one. Now, let's try second-hand again. So I've got another one off that Statesman. So we'll quickly, I've cleaned it out. We'll throw that on as another job, and then we'll see how we're going. Wow, It's amazing what you can get out of it. I love this thing. Best investment I made. I've only gone over this a couple of times. It definitely doesn't smell like 45 cats have been in here now. Yeah, boy, I think the rest of this job I might handball off to the big fella. I'll get this seat bolted back in, and then we'll go from there. Whew. Well, talk about an hour of power. I end up throwing all the trim back in, glove box in, even though we need to pull some of that back out to do the aerial later. But I've got another project for that Bram next week, so we had to get everything off the bonnet. Well, that's the seat back in. And with 1 or 2 more bits of trim to go, we need to give that another clean, and that'll do for inside the car. Okay, so what I've got that sucks out fluids is a, I don't know what you call it, a one-man brake bleeding bottle. And I find this very useful for sucking out other oils as well. So you just connect the air up. Fine with just having the little hose on it, I can get around to those little nooks and crannies and suck out whatever oil's stuck in the corners. And that'll do for that for now. And what we'll do is I'll just pull that hose out, give that a bit of a wipe. Now, to do a power steering flush properly, you really need to drop all the hoses off and turn the steering back and forth a couple of times. But for the purpose of today and what we're doing, I'm just going to suck out the reservoir and we'll top it back up. Now, there's a couple of readings on the back here which says full when cold and full when hot. Now obviously we are cold at the moment, so we'll just go up to that mark. If I can get it right. I think it's about there. Something around there anyway. Feel it. And then we'll just run it up and double check that later. Oh wait, there's a minimum and maximum on the old V6s. I think it's the LSs that have a minimum cold and hot. Correct me if I'm wrong, throw it in the comments there. Righto. And another little trick I'll do before I go initially starting it up is while we've got the wheels off the ground, I'll turn the steering from left to right while there's no load, no power steering pump going, just in case I get an airlock, which it'll be fine. Right, let's move on to this brake fluid. Now, I just double checked with the Penrite app, and we want to be using .4, which lucky enough, I've got a bit of spare. And with this little rubber sealing section, the idea of that is as you apply the brakes, that's meant to pop down and create like a space so the fluid doesn't slop around everywhere. Now I've just given that a good clean, same with the cap, and we'll clean that brake fluid out now. We'll suck that out. Now it doesn't look too bad, and I think you can get these brake testing kits which test your fluid. There's like a water, I can't think of the right word for it, but what happens is brake fluid attracts moisture, and then what happens is you get like a moisture reading in your brake fluid, and because brakes get hot and they start to boil, you don't want that fluid to react with the brake fluid. There is some chemical thingamajig behind it, but we'll suck it out. And there we go, that's all evac'd out. And what I'll do now is I'll get a bit of brake clean and we'll give that a wipe out and clean that up. Pretty tidy for what I can actually get to. We'll fill that reservoir back up and then start bleeding the brakes. Okay, now I'm going to go to the maximum mark, maybe a touch over, and holy dooly, I definitely got it just on the lip there. Now with bleeding brakes, you always want to go to the furthest brake caliper first. So for example, say you pull the front brakes off, the furthest brake caliper will be the left hand side from the master cylinder. Now we're going to do all brakes, so the furthest one away is the rear left hand side, then it will be the rear right hand side, then passenger side, then driver's side. Now let's jump under and I'll just show you what we'll start off by doing. So there's your bleed nipple just here. It's got a little dust cap on it. If it doesn't, just be cautious because there could be mud or dirt jammed in the end. So just take the cap off, grab the spanner. In this case, it's a 10mm ringy, and what I'll do is I'll just start by cracking it first. So that way, yep, that's nice and loose. And I'll just nip it up just that touch. Now we'll put our bleed bottle on. Let's tuck that out the way for now. We'll crack that bleed nipple. We should be able to run the spanner back down and just give it that little bit more. How you going? Now I'm happy with all that. We'll go push the brake pedal a few times and come back and check the reservoir. If you're interested in what that tool is, it's just a one-person brake bleeding bottle. I have seen other cool ones where people have made them out of Coke bottles and cordial bottles, and so you've got a bigger reservoir. But what I'll do now is we'll just pump the brake pedal gently. Don't go all the way. Just go a couple of smooth pumps initially. Once you're happy and you've got a firmish sort of pedal still, we'll jump under and have a look at that reservoir. Okay, so that's slowly filling up, and what we'll do, we'll just do that until we get that cleary sort of brake fluid come through, and that'll be good enough. Then I'll jump on to the other side, then the front, then the other side. While you're doing that, just keep coming back and checking the reservoir level and keep topping it up as required. Now I've got a bleed nipple I prepared earlier to show you what possibly can go wrong with these. Now, without those dust caps on them, you can get crud right in the end there. So what happens is then you can't get the brake fluid out. So picture your brake fluid comes into the caliper, it's on this side of the piston, and then it's trying to get out this port. So if we go like that, now you've got fluid trying to come out, but because of that little V there, that blocks off stopping fluid coming out. And what you've done is you've just cracked that bleed nipple, allowing fluid to come past that sealing surface and to go out. Oh, we can't even see it on this one, probably blocked. There is a little hole there, so that's more than likely blocked. So if you can't get brake fluid to come out, it doesn't hurt to pull the bleed nipple out and make sure it's cleaned out. Nah, that's definitely blocked. I can't even blow through it. So what we'll do, we'll get a drill bit and just clean this one out, just for an example for you guys. Okay, so I've got just a small drill bit. We'll go down that bleed nipple hole and just turn it by hand, and you can hear dirt and crud in there. See if I can, I don't know if you caught that as that fell out then, but we've got some rusty sort of stuff coming out. What I'll do, oh yeah, there we go. It's all rusty sort of dirt and powdery sort of stuff inside of it. We'll give that a clean out, and then where the little bleed hole is, when I find it again, there you go, Specsavers. We'll give that a clean out, and then we'll try again. So I found the hole. It's really corroded all the way around that. So I'm just trying to use some oxy-cut cleaning tips to try and force whatever's jammed in there out. Can't even, whatever's in there is in there. So again, this is these are like a $5 part. So if you ever need one, I've had a fault on a car before where the chamfer just on the end there had a groove in it. And what would happen is I'd be bleeding the brakes and they'd go firm, and then you go for 2 pumps, it'd go soft again. It was just sucking air in through that. $5.50 part. Anyway, thought I'd just show you that as another tip when you're doing your brakes. Right. Now you may be asking why I'm using the one person bleeding bottle, and it's more because I've got control, so I can do it slowly. I can monitor how much I take out, and then just keep an eye on how much I put back in. But those, what do you call it, sucker 2000s, they work all right. So again, it's your choice of what you want to use. Now we'll just top up that fluid, and any brake fluid that you may spill, make sure you clean it up straight away. All right, sweet. Maximum, nice. Now just making sure I got these plastic thingamajigs pushed back in. Slide that down nicely. 2 clips. That's that job done. Let's move on to that steering boot that, well, lucky I'm getting good at these now. Right, let's give that a belt. Good. Give that a coloured mark, just to make it brighter. I'll undo that. Locking nut. Oh no, my pink mark. I'll do that again. There we go. Okay, let's drop that out. Let's count the turns. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, what was that? 12 and a half-ish. Cable ties out the way. Actually, I don't think this is the one I did the other day. I must have just replaced the tyre in. Yeah, that's split. And let's have a look at that. That's nice and stiff, or nice and got plenty of, what do you call it, tension in that ball joint. I'll put the new boot on, and we'll make it happen. I'll put some lube on that. Make that go on a bit easier. Still got the pink dot, there we go. Okay. Oh, I might turn the steering back the other way. Put the cable tie on. 11, 12. That's about good enough there. We'll have to go get a wheel alignment after anyway. Let's put that there. Bit of never sees on it. Bring that steering around. Line that up. Okay. Put that on. Righto, that's tight. Split pin lined up. Let's put that in. Fold that over. Job done. Well, that's it, back on 4 wheels. And when I was underneath there, just putting that cable tie on that steering boot, I did notice the oil leak from the engine, which I'm hoping is the rocker cover gaskets. But then I did notice the transmission has a small weep. So we're gonna have a look into that later. I also forgot about doing the fuel filter. I'm gonna have to order that. And then when I got it back on the ground, I'm thinking, I could have just left it there, because I still need to do the aerial. Could have done the fuel filter while it's in the air, and I could have checked the transmission. But I'm gonna get the big fella to give the interior a good clean while I get stuck into another project. Righto, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry it was a short one. Yeah, if you haven't caught up on the playlist, I'll put it down here. And I'll catch up with you later. Dirty thumbs up, and see you when I'm looking at you.